Yes guys, what is up? Hope everybody is keeping well and welcome back to the channel. Game week 7 is among us. Don't know if you can hear outside, we're coming live and direct from Galway in very, very stormy weather conditions. Did very well to get in here, to be honest with you, to get this stream out of the way. But yeah, we're live before the Game week 7 deadline. Do let us know where you're watching from in the world, and yeah, we've plenty to discuss over the next hour and 55 minutes or so. Who have we got in the chat there? Salt Knight, hope you're keeping well, man. First off, we are so close to hitting 8k subs, so if you are joining us and you're not subscribed, please do consider heading on down there, click and subscribe, and fingers crossed we can get across the line this game week. Right, William Doyle in the chat then as well. William, hope you're keeping well. Drop a like on the stream and let's try and get this pushed out to a few more people around the world. Salt Knight, anyway, what are we saying? Ben's three of the following and why: Sar, Van de Ven, Gehi, Reinders, Pedro, Evan-Nielsen, Van Dijk, Senesi. I'm thinking Van Dijk, don't know, but we'll get into that why. Evan-Nielsen and surprisingly Van de Ven against Leeds, as you think Leeds will score. I wouldn't be mad on benching Van Dijk. Eight players for Chelsea that are injured at the moment, so I wouldn't be surprised. Are Liverpool at home? If Liverpool are at home, I definitely wouldn't be benching them. No, okay, fair enough. It's in Chelsea. But Van Dijk is a DEFCON monster. We saw him getting, I think it's on 5 out of 6 occasions so far this season. If he does concede, if Liverpool do concede, it might be the likes of a João Pedro getting a goal. But I wouldn't be benching Van Dijk this week. I don't think so. I think that's a game Liverpool may shut up shop, and let's see how it does go on. But I am playing him, as you can see there. But go back to what you're saying, Sarah. You have to play him. Van de Ven, Gehi, Reinders, Pedro, Evan-Nielsen, Van Dijk, Senesi. You're gonna have to play Senesi. Gehi is against who? Everton. Probably going to have to play him. Then also Dewsbury Hall out. Maybe I'm going to be biased because I have Van Dijk in my team. Maybe I'm going to tell you to bench Gehi. Who else there? Sarah's fine. Yeah, Van de Ven, Gehi, and probably Evan-Nielsen. So that being said, though, Fulham are missing, it sounds like, Mooney's and Jimenez tonight. So I'd definitely be playing your Senesis. You're going to be playing them anyway with the likes of, I'm getting 6 out of 6 DEFCON so far this season. But probably Van de Ven, fair enough. Probably Evan-Nielsen just, and I probably would bench Gehi over Van Dijk. Being biased because I've got Ndiaye in my team. I think Everton do get one. CJ, how's the weather in Ireland? I don't know if it's coming across here. I'm just looking out the window now. It's absolutely horrific. I was driving home from work. I took a half day at work to get this stream out of the way, and a sign blew over my car. It was one of those election signs, and yeah, so I got a car parking. I got a parking spot in town there, but yeah, it's pretty abysmal outside now. So if you are in Ireland, make sure you stay safe this evening. But yeah, we won't worry about the weather for now. But if you are in CG Ireland, let us know where you're watching from, and I'm sure do let us know how the weather is. Getting some updates around Ireland anyway. Sakib, anyway, what are you saying? Worth downgrading João Pedro and doing Foden to Saka. Drop my team in the group. Let's get on to you, Sakib. I wouldn't be getting rid of João Pedro yet, just because he is suspended in their next Champions League game, which will see him getting a rest between Game Week 8 and Game Week 9. And of course, Chelsea have Sunderland in Game Week 9. So I'm eyeing up the captaincy on João Pedro that week. So I wouldn't be too phased on getting rid of João Pedro this week. But let's get into the Patreon here, because you are a member of it. So I really do appreciate that, man. Allison out for 6 weeks, 4.3. Subkeeper worth a punt, not worth a GK transfer. Someone asked about triple captain Haaland here. Nothing wrong with it this week. I'm probably saving it for 14, 15, even 13. Probably going to save for Leeds. Game week 13 or 14, 15. Nothing wrong with him. The form he is. It's probably, you might want to get rid of it straight away. Of course, we'll chat about the bench boost later on then as well. In goal with City Lad, horrific out there is right. Yeah, I'm Hooley 365. I'm actually coming live from the city here in Galway as well, and it's absolutely crazy outside there. I heard a bang there. Hopefully someone's alright if that was something else. But anyway, right, let's not get distracted by the weather. Keep João Pedro Sakib. I'm just trying to find your message here. Was it in a private DM or was it in the group? Anyway, someone's asking about a free hit. Any basis a free hit this team: Raya, Dorgu, Senesi, Munoz, King, Gordon, Salah, Reinders, Semenya, Watkins, Haaland, and load up on Newcastle, Arsenal, City. Have already made a transfer, so any further moves are worth -4. I think team is fine there. Is starting King over Williams the right call? Team is fine. Right. Or should I just lock and roll? There you are, Sakib there. Downgrade JP and Foden to Saka. I'm going to tell you roll there. What's the rest of your team? Raya, Kanata, Gabriel, Senesi, Mukalele, Reinders, and Dye, Foden, Semenyo. He's a captain. Just move the captaincy to Haaland there. Move the captain to Haaland. Right, good stuff. 20 to 5 with plenty of time. Anyway, deadline is 6:30. What else have we in the chat? Thanks, man. Feel like Palace game will be low scoring, and you can't argue with how great his form at all. He's a DEFCON monster. How about bench and Reinders? Hope you're doing well, mate. So I appreciate that. City against Brentford away. Probably would still start Reinders. Probably rather unfortunate not to get something against Burnley last week. It was annoying that they scored 5 and didn't get something. But at least for the price we're paying, when you're comparing him to the likes of a Foden, who's 8 million. I was tempted by Foden on the wildcard. I won't even lie there. But thankfully I didn't go with him. Kept Bruno Fernandes though. Probably it was the wrong move. But I do think this is the weekend Bruno Fernandes can do well. I was considering captain on Bruno this week, but with the form Erling Haaland is in at the moment, I can't move that captaincy off him. Especially the rank I'm at the moment, 966k. We're inside the top 1 million for the first time this season. So I think I'm going to have to play it safe and leave it on Haaland. But what he's saying there, Oper doing well. Bench and Reinders, I'd always start the attacker over the defender. I do think Everton will get one. Probably should have got a few more against West Ham. But I'm probably being a bit biased with Ndai and Van Dijk then as well. But I do think you have more chance of getting DEFCON from Van Dijk than you do to Guehi. And it's probably wrong benching Van Dijk at that price then as well. Even though he has Chelsea, but I'll be benching Guehi out of those. Good stuff. Right, Slim. Well, Niall went Livermento to Calafiori. Maybe Timber was better shout, Slim. If you could have got Gabriel, he was definitely the better shout. Might be a bit of... I think he's fine to start this weekend, Calafiori, but there's always uncertainty with Arteta. He said he might be rotating some of his starting players because, Sunday, Wednesday, Saturday isn't an ideal turnaround, to be honest with you. To be honest, I wouldn't be surprised if Gyökeres is benched this week. I don't think he will be. There was a quote from the press conference today saying that he hopes that the floodgates open for Gyökeres this weekend. But that being said, he loves rotating against a weaker opposition, but they still have to get the 3 points in that game. But I will be targeting Arsenal lads this week. I've double defence and Gyökeres. Surely Gyökeres gets a start and gets a few returns there. Not a bad show for the captaincy, but just with the form Haaland's in at the moment, I think you have to keep it on Haaland. Nothing wrong with Calafiori then as well. I would have went Gabriel if you could have afforded him, but look, it's fine. You need some Arsenal defensive cover this week, and it should be fine this week. Blake then as well. Senesi or Van de Ven, or play one of them over Reinders or JP. Senesi definitely this week. Fulham missing Jimenez and Muniz by the sounds of it, so I wouldn't be surprised. First off, to see him getting DEFCON Senesi, but if they get a clean sheet tonight then as well, they're at home. Yeah, Fulham at home, just with the likes of their 2 forwards out. There's a young lad for Fulham, I can't think of his name, but it sounds like he's getting his first run out tonight anyway. So maybe he does get a goal tonight, but I do think it's very sensible playing your Bournemouth assets. Would you be benching Reinders or JP instead of Van de Ven? Probably not. Are Leeds away from home, or is it in Spurs? If it's in Leeds, I probably wouldn't start Van de Ven over those 2 lads. But you always go with the attacker. And I know at DEFCON this year, maybe you might be tempted to start one of the... Yeah, it's in Leeds, so early kickoff. I'd leave Van de Ven on the bench and start Reinders and JP. With João Pedro, he will be on penalties. So if he does get something at Anfield, but I do think this is the week Van Dijk can get a nice return. Keane Fahy, hope you're well, Keane. What do you make of a Saka, Gabriel and Timber triple up on the wild card? Thank you, sir. Hope all is well. Nothing wrong with that at all. Gabriel is your optimum pick there. Instead of going Timber, I'd probably go Raya on the wild card in goals just to be safe. Timber might get rotated a few weeks or a few game weeks throughout the year, but with Raya you have your certainty that he's going to start. Gabriel 100%. Saka over Gyökeres, I understand that he's proven in FPL, but with Gyökeres having penalties, he has been playing better against the weaker opposition, so probably might go Gyökeres copy myself there. Go with Gyökeres, get some penalties in there, but nothing wrong with going with Saka at all. Hi bench Richarlison or João Pedro. Probably João Pedro. Probably would start Richarlison there. Thomas Otto. Jason Murphy in the chat. Jason, hope you're keeping well. What are we saying here? Fair play for taking a half day to do the live stream. Fair play. Cheers, man. Appreciate that. Drop my team over in the Patreon group if you want to have a look. Good stuff. Let's take a look then. So, if you are new to the channel, please do consider heading on down there, giving the stream a like, and click and subscribe if you haven't done so already. We're about 46, 47 away from hitting 8k. It'd be great to hit it this evening. We're nearly on 10 likes. If you're watching and you haven't liked the stream, go down there, give the stream a like, and let's get Jason's team up on stream here. What are we saying, Jason? Where have you put it into? Here we go. Hope Niall, hope all is well. Any thoughts on the above? Any input appreciated. Petrovic, Van de Ven, Gabriel, Senesi, Richards, Semenyo, Saka, Reinders, Gyökeres, João Pedro, Haaland, prob start Gakpo over Van de Ven. Let us know if that's alright, Jason, but always with the attacker. I can see Liverpool, 8 lads out for Chelsea. I can see Liverpool getting a couple of goals in that game, and especially with it being in Liverpool. Or no, it's in Chelsea. I keep saying it's in Liverpool. It's not, but I do think Liverpool will get a few goals in that game, considering Chelsea's defence. Shane McKevitt, Raya, Gabriel, Senesi, Pedro Porro, Ndai, Semenyo, Bruno Fernandes, Anderson, Reinders, Haaland, João Pedro, captain. Roll, good to go. With the international break around the corner, I can see someone on about the international break. CJ, yeah, it's not ideal as an Ireland fan. First off, it's not ideal at the moment as an Ireland fan. Or a United fan and then an Ireland fan on top of it. So not great to see this international break around the corner. Probably good as a content creator. Won't get into it, but Lord above, going back. I will, to be honest with you. With the storm outside here. So if you follow me on Instagram, I do a captaincy reel every week where I go out to pitch filming videos. Decided yesterday, rather stupidly, to go out and film a video in the piss and rain yesterday. Filmed half of it. It was just a crossbar golf challenge where I started on the side of a road, went over it, grand. Filmed half it, then I said I'd check the mic. Mic wasn't picking up what I was saying. It was absolutely drenched at this stage, absolutely downpouring rain. Hopped into the car, went over my life decisions, and decided I'd go out and do it again. Did the intro, still wasn't working, sound wasn't coming through. So call it off, and then that's why I posted an old one. But these are the things you don't see, what goes on behind the scenes anyway. But I'm glad in that retrospect that we have an international break for now, and then I can get a few videos planned in advance for Instagram over the international break. But yeah, wasn't in hindsight it was a very stupid idea going out in that rain last night. But anyway, this is the stuff that goes on for the content. But yeah, not looking forward to it as an Irish fan as well. Our dreams are pretty much over at the moment, but let's see how we do get on. Start João Pedro or Saka, or Xhaka, sorry, not Saka. Go with Henry there, go with João Pedro. Xhaka might get some DEFCON against United, but let's see. I do hope the sign didn't hit your car, lad. It skimmed the top of the roof, but it was only one of those election plastic posters anyway, or those signs, so it was grand at least, but appreciate that, man. JDM, is it worth playing free hit if I don't have any Arsenal players? Have average team and play wildcard next week, thanks. JDM, send in the rest of the team, but if you've City cover already, if you've a few others, you don't have Arsenal cover, so you definitely do want at least 2 Arsenal players, or you're looking at a red arrow this week. But send in the rest of the team, JDM, and we'll take a look at it for you. Patrick Nowak in the chat. Gabriel for Van de Ven, Anderson and LaCroix this week. Probably Anderson, you know, or maybe Van de Ven. It's out of the two. LaCroix is a DEFCON monster anyway. Anderson is definitely a DEFCON monster, but his next fixtures over the next 4 or 5 aren't. You won't be playing him at all. That's why I didn't go with him on the wild card. But maybe Van de Ven. That's what I'd probably say there. Just Anderson, just because he gets the DEFCON. But keep LaCroix. He's been going well in Palace, or unbeaten so far this season. Yeah, good stuff. Right, a few new messages coming in there. Latest on Gabriel is that Arteta said they're not too concerned about him, Renata, so he should be fine for the weekend. I wouldn't worry too much about that. Steve Fitzpatrick in the chat. Steve, hope you're keeping well, man. Don't worry, I took a half day to do this stream, Steve. I work with Steve, so cheers for tuning in, Steve. Took a risk and swapped out Bruno for Saka. So you're welcome when Bruno cleans up. I wouldn't be surprised. I was with the two of them really. I was maybe considering captain Bruno this week before Haaland got us 2 goals last weekend, and before Bruno missed that penalty. Before the game, it pretty much started last week. I was all eyes on captain and Bruno. A lot can change in FPL, as we all know. So nothing wrong. I would have kept him for the Sunderland game, Steve, but you definitely need Arsenal cover. So I can see Saka doing well as well. So it's a bit of a sideways move, but I think you're going to get points either way. I hope we do. We both get points either way, anyway. But good man, doubling down on the captain and Semenyo, IJ. I like it. Fulham have a few injuries, as I said there earlier, so wouldn't be surprised if Semenyo does well. I think he's only blanked in 1 game so far this season, so Semenyo is definitely a decent shout for the Ironman. The only thing about the Ironman on a Friday night is if he blanks, it's a long weekend then, watching the likes of a Bruno over Gyökeres and then a Haaland on Sunday evening. So keep that in mind. It could be a long weekend if Semenyo blanks. But I said nothing wrong with captain Semenyo. Me to win, Dubravka and Alderete, Walter Mode on the bench are good for bench boost. Nothing wrong with that. I probably would get it out of the way. Alderete, decent chance of a DEFCON. I know he got his attacking return last week. I think that's his goal. He'll only get 1 or 2 goals max this season. So that's his goal. Got last week. I went with Mukulele on the wild card. Should have probably went Alderete, but maybe Mukulele is saving the attacking return for the bench boost in game week 8. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. Just get rid of that, get it out of the way, and you're good to go then. Absolutely nothing wrong with that bench boost. Right, a few more in this Patreon to get through, but we've plenty of time anyway. 34 in the chat then as well. If we can get up to 20 likes in the next couple of minutes, that'd be very much appreciated. So go down there, give the stream a like, and let's get this pushed out. Roll with it here. Raya, Senesi, Gabriel, Virgil, Reinders, Bruno, Semenyo, Ndai, Richarlison, Haaland, and João Pedro. Looks good, Jay. Jamie Lawler, go with the same 11 I have out of Van de Ven or Tarkowski. Start Tark. Good stuff. Abdullah in the chat then as well. Which one do you prefer? Or maybe this: Gabriel, Timber, Walter Mode, or Gabriel, Raya instead of Sells, Gabriel and Raya. Nice one. Got 1.1 in the bank, but made downgrade JP to Walton made, and then upgrade Baleba. Wouldn't get rid of JP. You'll want him for 9. John Amar in the chat then as well. John, good man. Triple Arsenal defence too much. Probably is. That's a lot better. How much for Right, we're working through them then as well. We'll come back to it. What else have we here then? Latest on Gabriel is Arteta said he's not too concerned, so it's all good. I'm stuck between free hitting of about 8 players, including the bench with risky fixtures. What would you do? I've about 8 players, including the bench with risky fixtures. What would you do, Nas? And just send in the rest of the team, Nas. But by the sounds of it, you may need it, but then also give us a look at your team, because you might need it at all. You might be fine. Patrick, one option: Van de Ven, Gabriel, Mateta. Option 1, sorry, Van de Ven, Gabriel, Mateta, Gyökeres, Salah to Saka. What do you think? Take 3 players from Arsenal. Option 2, Van de Ven to Gabriel, Salah to Saka is a whole Mateta. I probably will go option 1 there. If it's all for free, that's fine. Gabriel, Van de Ven to Gabriel, Mateta to Gyökeres, Salah to Saka. 3 free transfers. You're loaded up on Arsenal lads there. I'd do that for free, to be honest with you. Conan Haynight, I want 4 at the backs, a bench Reinders, JP or Gakpo. Out of those, maybe Reinders. I can see a few goals in that Liverpool-Chelsea game. Maybe Reinders out of that, just about. Amardeep Clare currently have Stells and Kelleher as my goalkeepers. 0.7 in the bank. Should be looking to change one of them for the weeks ahead. If you can get to Raya, you should be able to do Stells to Raya. If that's the only issue with your team, get Raya in for Stells, and then you're good to go then. For a hit, I wouldn't be doing it. Just play either or. Stells probably with a better fixture this week. Forest against who? They have their nice fixtures out of the way, and they didn't even get a clean sheet in either one of them. Forest are playing Newcastle. Not ideal. Keller against Man City. Maybe play Kelleher and get your extra couple of save points. Just Salt Knight, sorry again, is it worth bench boosting? Would you just bench Dubravka, Guehi, and Evan Nielsen, Van de Ven? Love your content, mate. Salt Knight. Probably wouldn't bother. You could probably get away without the bench. Well, to be honest with you, maybe do play it and get it out of the way. With my team, I'm saving it for next week, but it's obviously team dependent. But to be fair, that's not bad. Dubravka might get a couple of saves. Guehi, if he gets his DEFCON. Evan Nielsen might get some tonight, and Van de Ven. Do you know what? Hit that bench boost. Go for it if you have it available. Go for it and get it out of the way. Hoping I get a few points now tonight. Can't be much worse than the Rovers game last night, surely. No, definitely not. Was that the Galway United game, Renatus? I'm assuming it definitely was. Their game against Derry actually is called off, from what I saw on Instagram just before I came on here. So that shows how bad the weather in Ireland is for now. But yeah, Galway United are in trouble at the moment. Let's see, can we stay up? We should be. Surely we should. Reinders or Tarkowski, considering at 5 at the back this week. Oscar, surely you can start Tarkowski with someone else. I probably would start Reinders, but surely you can start Tarkowski over different defender. Crystal Palace should score against Everton, but Tarkowski if he gets his DEFCON. I obviously went Van Dijk over Tarkowski on my wild card. I was definitely glad to see him getting the DEFCON after that game when he was on 0, and he ended up outperforming Tarkowski anyway. But surely you can do something else there and start the two of them. Let us know who else you have. Oscar in the back line. Daniel Paddy, hi. Bench 1 Rogers, Doku, Kudus. Bench 1 out of those. Villa against who? I saw something on Rogers actually earlier on. What's the news on Rogers? There's just been called up to the England squad. Maybe that's it. Rogers, Aston Villa. What was it? Maybe nothing. So out of those, you probably have to play Kudus at Leeds. I can see goals in that game for either side. Rogers or Doku. Doku's against Brentford. Aston Villa against Burnley. Maybe Doku. Benching Doku. Can see Aston Villa getting something. Semenyo scores a double tonight. IJ, that'd be great if he does. Henry, bench boost this week or next week. Dubravka, Xhaka, Anderson from Fulham, and Mukulele probably next week. I wouldn't bother with that this week. Xhaka might get DEFCON, but Xhaka against Wolves and Mukulele against Wolves is a better fixture. That's why I brought in Mukulele this week. So save it for game of 8. Let's see. Fingers crossed I don't come back from the international break injured. I'm stuck between free hitting or taking a -4. I currently have 8 players of bad fixtures, including benching 6 bad players after transfers. Can I get your thoughts, Nas? Send in the rest of the team, Nas, yeah, and I'll help you with that. FTBL09, great to see you, man. What's your thoughts on doing Ekatike to Waldermode or Cucurella to Timber? What would you say there? What's going on there at the chat? 0 XP. I don't even know what that means. Whatever came up there, something on screen there. I don't know if that happened to you then, but the chat went mad there for a sec. Anyway, right, back to this. Ekatike to Waldermode or Cucurella to Timber. Probably an Arsenal. Get an Arsenal defender in there. Go for that. You can maybe do the 2. Is Ekatike, is he back or is he injured? Did Ekatike get injured during the week? I was doing a YouTube video when that Liverpool game was on, but I think Ekatike is out for a while. Let's just see here. Yeah, hamstring injury, wasn't it? If you can do the 2 for free, definitely. I don't think you can. I'd focus probably more on the Arsenal defence there. News on Gabriel, he should be fine. Yeah. Saka better than Eze, Bruno and Buemo. Yeah, replacements for Salah. Yeah, I'll be probably getting rid of Bruno next week, so I'd go for that. Thinking of transferring in Paqueta for Bruno after Game Week 7. What do you think of their fixtures from Game Week 8 to 11? Let's get Paqueta up on screen here because I need a Bruno replacement myself. Let's just make sure this is all still shown. Lovely. Paqueta, he got the DEFCON last week as well. I'm nearly sure he did. 28. He did. Defcon from Game Week 8 to Game Week 12. Not too bad. Brentford, Leeds, Newcastle, Burnley, Bournemouth. Not a bad shout for a Bruno replacement. I've plenty of money in the bank, 0.6. If I downgrade Bruno to Paqueta, I'll have 3 million in the bank. Could maybe work around getting a move in for Salah back in around Game Week 8 or Game Week 9. Well, no, I don't want Salah till realistically Game Week 12. But let's see. Yeah, Brentford, Villa, even the United game, maybe. We'll see how we go. But yeah, if I'm downgrading Bruno to Paqueta, nothing wrong with Paqueta, 5.9. If he is on penalties, let's see how Nuno does get on with them. But he got a good result out of a informed Everton side anyway. But Brentford, Leeds, Newcastle, Burnley, Bournemouth, nothing too much wrong with those fixtures, especially if he is on penalties. Off the top of my head, a Bruno Fernandes replacement. It's probably going to be a Cole Palmer if he is fit. Palmer's 10 something, isn't he? So that's going to take 2 moves to get him in. He's 10 something. Has he dropped 10.3? So I need 0.6 out of somewhere. We'll worry about that after the international break. Plenty can happen. But nothing wrong with Paqueta if you want to go that way. That can probably get you money to go back towards a Mo Salah transfer back in if you do want one before Game Week 12. But the main plan was to get Salah back in Game Week 12. Let's see if I want him before that. But for now, I'm happy enough to have him out of the team. He was very quiet against Palace. So let's see. A few new subs there. Really do appreciate that. If you are joining late, we're so close to hitting 8k subs. Fingers crossed we can hit it before the end of the stream here. We're on 21 likes then as well. If we can try and get to 30 likes, that'd be very much appreciated. And we're 41 subs off hitting 8k. Let's see if we can hit it. That'll be a great start to the weekend, and just before the international break then as well. That'll be great. Orlando, nothing wrong with Paqueta if you do want to go that route though. Absolutely nothing wrong with it. Samuel, who should I bench out of Gordon, Fernandes, Semenyo or McGinn? He is Burnley at home. He does indeed. Who should I bench? Gordon or McGinn at Burnley at home? Sorry, McGinn. Gordon is fine. He should be on penalties. Gordon, Semenyo, Fernandes. Easy shout there. I'm going to get a poll going as well. I think we know who everyone's captaining anyway. How many chips have you used? I want to see this. At the moment with my team, I've just played wildcard, so I'll be bench boosted next week, which should see me getting at least 10 points and getting me up the ranks a bit more. How many chips have you used? Let's see, because I still have the triple captain left. I have played the wildcard. I still have the bench boost, still have free hit, and still have triple captain. Let's see what the chat is saying on that. But bench boost in Game Week 8 should at least get me double digits, and that should at least be another 100k plus in the rank then also. So we're going well this season. We just have to keep pushing on now. But let's see what the chat is saying there. Marcus Alexander, hi Niall, hope all is good. I have some rules for my mini league. With the same team you have, who is player you will sub with your bench and who will you captain instead of Haaland? If I wasn't captain of Haaland, it'd probably be one of Bruno Fernandes or Semenyo or even Gyökeres. Maybe Bruno Fernandes. I know it's a bit. I know I'm wearing the United top here. It's maybe a wee bit biased, but I'd be probably going Bruno Fernandes as my second captaincy pick. And then who with the same team? Who is one player you'll sub with your bench and who would you captain instead of Haaland? If I was subbing a player, probably I could bring in Caicedo for Reinders maybe, but that's pretty much it. I'd do Marcus Alexander, that's all. Hannah Jones, bench Tarkowski or Romero, bench Romero. Bench boost time it is, Salt Night, the Spurs game. The Spurs lads have Villa and I have Bruno who's playing Liverpool, so that's 3 players already that have tough fixes in my team next week. So maybe you're right, hit that bench boost, Salt Night, go for it. My bench boost next week is going to be Dubravka against... off the top of my head, who was it? Dubravka against Leeds, isn't it? Yeah, of course it is. Dubravka against Leeds, Esteve against Leeds, Caicedo against Nottingham Forest, and Mukulele at home to Wolves. So I'm happy to do my bench boost that week on it. But let's see if there's any injuries after international break or whatever. Niall Murphy, another Niall Ella, hope we're keeping well. Bench one of Romero, Reinders and Vardiol. Play the 2 City lads, bench Romero, you're good to go then. Hey mate, should I start Anderson for defender or João Pedro? I'd be starting João Pedro. On the off chance Chelsea get a penalty or an attack in return, Pedro will be involved, so I'd be going for that, chat. A few new subs there, really do appreciate it. We're less than 40 subs away from hitting 8k. hit that subscribe button if you haven't done so. Please do. I really do appreciate all the few new subs. That's great to see. 90 miles per hour winds. Nice dog walk. Brundle fly. I don't know if you can hear this wind outside now, but it's absolutely crazy in Galway here. So we'll try not to blow away, or hopefully the power isn't affected throughout this stream. Should I start Anderson or defender João Pedro? Start João Pedro. Bench Reinders or Van de Ven? Bench Van de Ven there. Play with Reinders for sure. Luca will roll the transfer of 3 free transfers for game week 8. For bench order, is this a good order just in case Gabriel doesn't play? Richards first sub, Anderson second, and third Statch. That's good with me. Crystal Palace against Everton. Good chance Richard gets DEFCON then as well. Anderson's probably a better shout at a DEFCON, but more chance of Bournemouth ruling out that clean sheet or wiping out that clean sheet. So Richards there is fine. Between Anderson and King, which one to bench? Got Semenyo and Senesi. You probably want to go with your defence, so start Anderson. Probably, as I said, more chance of Anderson getting a DEFCON than there is King getting an attack and return. So let's go with that. How was the wedding, Brundle Fly? It was great. I don't know if you watch my video during the week. I said a little anecdote from the wedding. When the ceremony was going on, there was an old lad in front of us, 3 rows to our left. I could see he was watching the Man United game while the wedding was going on in the church. So when I was going up to get Holy Communion, I looked over at the score and saw 2-1, and it's funny enough. It's not funny now. We can laugh about it now, but during the mass, he let out not a big yell, but he put his hands on his head, and that was obviously when Bruno Fernandes missed the penalty. I can laugh about it now, but when I didn't realise Bruno missed the penalty, but then when I got out of the church after the wedding and checked live score, I wasn't laughing then, but we can laugh about it now. But thanks though, good to see everyone from work that I used to work with then also. But yeah, we had a great day for it. And when I checked the score at half time to see Haaland only got that assist, checked the score an hour or two later to see he got the 2 goals in additional time. So squeaky bum time. That was definitely for the Haaland triple captainers, but fair play. 48 points for the triple captaincy. 16 extra points is massive in a single game week. So well done if you did triple captain Haaland last week. This week will be a red hour for me for sure. Currently 168k overall. Fair play, Danny. That's some going on the ranks. Why a red arrow though? Just because you're taking a hits or whatever. It's not the worst weeks for most people, I'd imagine. If you're wildcarding last week, there's I wouldn't be too cut off on getting a red arrow this week at that rank. You're going well, especially even there. Brundle Fly top 21k. Wonder if I can get any higher. That's some going. Interesting to see. It's only one chip play by a lot of people. If you're on Twitter, it seems everyone has played at least 2, but I've only played 1. 56% on 1, 36 on 2, 6 and 3 on 3 and 4. But some going run the fly. Let's hope we can get into that top 10k sooner rather than later. Oscar, Senesi, Van Dijk, Gabriel, Vardiol, Tarkowski. Sacrifice JP on the wildcard to go big at the back. Which would you start Reinders over made? Senesi, Van Dijk, Gabriel, Vardiol, Tarkowski. Maybe Tarkowski just, but I think you can probably get away with benching JP just. Senesi, DEFCON, Van Dijk, DEFCON, Gabriel, clean sheet surely. Vardiol, clean sheet. Maybe Vardiol you could bench for JP, but I think you have to play him the way Brentford are going. I know they bet United last week, but apart from that, maybe Vardiol. But I think you're safe enough to bench JP there. Just there's a good chance of clean sheet and DEFCON throughout all that backline, so fair play. Fenerbahce 1907. Hi mate, how's it going? Hope you're keeping well, man. Cheers for tuning in as always. Bench Reinders or Van de Ven. I'll be benching Van de Ven there. Start for Cario or Ross. Might get save points for Ross away to United, maybe. Vicario, especially with it being in Ellen Road, surely Leeds get something in the early kick-off. Yeah, maybe Ross on the save points. Am I rolling this week, CJ? Yeah, I'm looking at rolling. Van de Ven to Gabriel or Bruno to Saka. Van de Ven to Gabriel. Rob in the chat. Rob, hope you're keeping well. We'll get to you there as well. Here in Australia, IJ 2:05 AM. Well, hopefully, I'm not keeping you up, but thanks for tuning in at that time in the morning. That's a great commitment there. Appreciate that, man. Sai Palace is on 19 game unbeaten streak and 3 wins on away. Why can't we start Richards over Tarkowski? with the DEFCON, more chance of Tarkowski getting DEFCON over Richards. To be honest, they have both a good shout at getting DEFCON. I can see Everton sneaking one, to be honest with you. Maybe that's bias, as I said, about Owen and Dye. I saw Moyes spoke a lot about Ndoye, about his versatility and playing different positions also. With Dewsbury Hall out, that might move Ndoye to the number 10 role, or maybe it might be Alcaraz. But hopefully it's Ndoye. He's on penalties anyway, Ndoye. I didn't see much of the Monday night game, so I didn't see if he had any chance. I don't think he even had a shot on target, but West Ham, new manager bounce, fair enough. I wasn't expecting too much out of that game. Why can't we start Richards over Tarkowski? You can, but more chance of a Tarkowski DEFCON. But as I said, Richards has been taken away nicely. Let's get Richards up here, as he I'm sure he's got at least 2 or 3 DEFCONs for Crystal Palace. 30 points. He's going well. Wow. He's got a good few DEFCONs. 1, 2, 3 DEFCONs. Nothing wrong with that at all. 4, 4, 6, 8, 2, 6. Wow, fair play if you're owning Richards. That's something going on. Nearly went from my Game Week 1 team. I put in Anderson anyway, to be fair, and the one game week. I had Anderson for 2 game weeks. He got a 10 and a 4, so I can't complain with that. But nothing wrong with starting Tarkowski or starting Richards if you want to start him over Tarkowski. Do you think Bournemouth will get a clean sheet with Muniz and Jimenez likely to be out? It obviously goes in favour of a clean sheet for Bournemouth, but at least with Senesi, he's got the DEFCON probably pretty much locked in. Or maybe because Muniz and Jimenez aren't playing, might mean he doesn't have to do as much defending. So maybe he mightn't hit the quota this week, maybe not. Alright, man, hope you're keeping well. Going with Pope, Gabriel, Guehi, Byrne, Salah, Semenyo, Simmons, Eze, Gyökeres, captain, João Pedro, Mateta. Pope, Gabriel, Guehi, Byrne is fine. Salah, Semenyo, Simmons, Eze, Gyökeres, João Pedro, Mateta. Gyökeres, captain. I rate it. I do think if he starts, he will do well. Obviously, no Haaland is a big no, but if you're content with going at Haaland, fair enough. But it might come back to bite you in the form he's in, especially. And I can see a few people probably triple captain him this week. Right, let's get Rob's team up on Twitter here. What are we saying, Rob? He's locked for the week. Raya, Vardiol, Senesi, Gabriel, Semenyo, Reinders, Kudos, Bruno Fernandes, Richarlison, Haaland, captain, Gyökeres. Good to go there, Rob. Cheers for tuning in. Good man. I think I'm locked in with the above, but benched Baleba for Ukulele. He might get DEFCON. To be fair. So all good. Right. What else have we? 2 point. Who would you go to? You already have triple sack, or you already have triple Arsenal there, John. So you can't go to maybe Bruno, but he's a transfer out next week. Should I sell Van Dijk for Gabriel and sell Salah to get Haaland in and bring in Reinders or Doku? Doku's a transfer out waiting to happen as well. Should I sell Van Dijk for Gabriel? If I'm wildcard, yes. If not, no. If he's only route to Gabriel, maybe though. I probably would bring in Gabriel. You need it. You need Arsenal cover this week for sure. Sell Salah to get Haaland in. If you're on wildcard, if you're making all these transfers, it might sound that you're on wildcard. But maybe I would go for it. So Van Dijk to Gabriel, it's a bit of a sideways move, but considering the fixtures, I understand it, and considering Liverpool's defensive form at the moment, I understand it too. But out of those, Reinders and Doku, Reinders for his price, and then Doku's definitely a transfer out waiting to happen. Thinking of taking Liverpool goalkeeper in at 4.3 million, Brundlefly. How do you even pronounce his name? Marchivadili? Is that right? I'm making a hymns of that, am I? Let's get it up here. Marmadadashvili. Definitely said that wrong, but 4.3 million for Liverpool goalkeeper. It sounds good, but when you look at Liverpool's fixtures, I know I've got Van Dijk on my team. Chelsea, United, even Brentford away doesn't scream clean sheet potential really. Aston Villa at home, then the next 4. City then as well. I wouldn't be too fussed wasting a transfer on a 4.3 million goalkeeper. I'd leave it off there. Wouldn't bother with a Brundlefly. But It sounds great on paper, a 4.3 million goalkeeper playing for Liverpool for the next, is it 6 weeks? Or at least after the international break anyway, Alisson. But if it's a hamstring injury, you can be out for a long time with them. But I think I saw one saying 6 weeks. I saw another one saying until after the international break at least. But no, I wouldn't be wasting a transfer on getting them in, considering the fixtures. Maybe if the better fixtures, yeah, but not. Take Sakin for Gakpo, Sheldon, go for it, yeah. If that's your only transfer, if you can roll a couple of more transfers on top of that, go for that. I'd do that, yeah. Would you do Van Dijk to Gabriel this week, Anthony, for free? If that's your only other issues, I'd go for it, yeah. But I try and keep Van Dijk. Definitely not for a hit. Do not do that for a hit. Would you rather sell Sells or Milenkovic for a 1 week punt before wildcard 8? Have to play one of them unless a -4. Have to play one of them unless a -4. Just play one of them. If you're taking a -4 for a defender, don't bother with it. Brundenfly, I've joined your league and my team name is Thomas the Frank Engine. I'm on 406 points. Can you see my team? Let's get you up here if we can. I don't know if you'll come up if you haven't joined the league since last week. Where are we? FPL Era Prize League. Where are we there? Patreon is there. FPL Era YouTube. 194 in my own league. New entries. Here we go. Geez, a good few new entries this week. Wow. Brundenfly. What did you say your name was? Maybe you're up the top, are you? No, you're not. Thomas the Frank Engine. I can't see it there. No, you're not there, Brundenfly. Maybe if I had to refresh the page or something. Or maybe it's on a new page. No. Maybe I'm blind. I can't see it anyway. No, can't see it there, Brundenfly, but get entering it. Definitely do get entering it. Right then, let's get back to this. What are we saying? Danny, my starting team this week: Petrovic, Senesi, Guehi, Anderson, Van de Ven, Salah, Reiner, Semenyo, Haaland, JP, Gyökeres. Bench, Dubravka, King, Goodwinson, Dewsbury Hall. Good to go there. Petrovic, Senesi, double up on the Bournemouth defence. Wow. Fair enough. Hopefully you do get your clean sheet. Anderson, Van de Ven. You might get some def con from Anderson and Guehi. Maybe not some clean sheets. Salah, Reiner, Semenyo, Haaland, JP, Gyökeres. 4-3-3. Interesting. Haven't seen too many 4-3-3s. I've seen a few 5s, but not 4s. Good stuff. Hi Niall, glad to see Owlad still watching the football. Come here, never had a chance. Had 0 as an option on the poll. Still waiting to strike in my mini league with my wildcard Paul. Wow, forgot to put 0 in. Good stuff. That's interesting there. Didn't even think about that. So no trips made from polls severe. What rank are you? Interesting enough. I'd be interested to see if you haven't any wildcard use so far. Do let us know. Thomas, kite in the chat. Thomas, hope we're keeping well, man. Right, I've just seen you've just put your team into the Discord there, so let's get you up on stream here and help you out. We're nearly on 40 likes. If you are watching and you haven't clicked like, go down there, click like. It only takes a second, and we've got a few new subs there then as well. I really do appreciate it. We're on the road to 8k subs. If we can get there before the end of the stream, that'd be very, very much appreciated. So go down there, click subscribe if you haven't done so already, and do us a solid. Right, Thomas, where are you now? Let's get you up here. Raya, Gabriel, Virgil, Guehi, Grealish, Reiner, Semenyo, Bruno Fernandes, Erling Haaland, João Pedro, Gyökeres. Team is good to go. You have wildcard played last week, so you're well set up this week. Probably would move Anderson maybe in the first sub there, just because of DEFCON. Maybe Anderson first sub with DEFCON. Let me know what you think on that, Thomas. But good man. Abdullah in the chat then. Hope we're keeping well here. I'm keeping well, Abdullah. Cheers for coming in. Have the team on Discord. Would you make a move? Erabu, Thomas. Appreciate that. Let me know what you think of that, Thomas. Maybe just with the bench in order, but you're all good to go apart from that. Start Gakpo or Xavi Simons. I think probably Gakpo out of those. I can see Liverpool, as I said, getting a few away from home this time. Not an Anfield like I was saying earlier. Start 3, Semenyo, Kudos, Reinders, João Pedro. Semenyo, Reinders, then one of Kudos or João Pedro. maybe bench João Pedro. So out of those, just about. Exeter Pro 244. What do you think is the best replacement? Who do you think is the best replacement for Gakpo? I have 8.9 million in the bank for the next few games. For the next few weeks, I probably wouldn't even bother getting rid of Gakpo this week. Keep him in the team. You might get something off him this weekend. Thomas, no bother at all, man. Cheers as always for tuning in and for being a member on the channel. That's great to see. Right, what are we? 20 past 5, an hour and 10 to go until the deadline. A few more messages here I need to get through. Then also, Higgins is looking for a response here. He's about to go for work. What are we saying here? Higgins, where are you gone? Did he unsend his message? I had it up there a second ago. Right, 11 o'clock today. Sorry, one free transfer prob wildcard over the international break, so could take a 1 week punt on someone if needed. He's got Dubravka, Williams, Van de Ven, Dorgu. Defense is a shambles. Higgins is a shambles. Sarah, Reinders, Grealish, Salah, Mateta, Haaland, João Pedro. Any way of getting Arsenal in? Right, let's see if he gets back. 30. Any changes to my team? No, we're leaving as is. Rolling 3 free transfers after the international break. Bruno Fernandes will be on the way out. We'll be eyeing up a bench boost, and let's see if I can scroll down here to show you the bench boost. Dubravka, Caicedo, Esteve, Ukulele. That'll be my bench next week, which is a decent bench considering the fixtures, as I spoke about earlier. So let's see how we do get on with that. Exeter Pro, keep Gakpo around that price point. Obviously Semenyo is a pick out of those. You're just missing out on Bruno Fernandes, but you only want Bruno Fernandes for 1 week really. I probably would keep Gakpo this week, and he might get something against Chelsea. Richarlison or Gyökeres, I feel Leeds could get something. Richarlison or Gyökeres, out of those, Gyökeres definitely, but I'd nearly want the two of them this week. Go with that. I do a max 1 player per team gimmick. I have Bruno Fernandes, but I feel like I'm wasting money. Should I keep him replacing with another United player? Keep Bruno this week. He'll be leaving my team next week. Well, should be leaving my team next week. But I'd keep him this week. That's all. You're playing FPL. You can't do the 1 team gimmick, especially with Arsenal this weekend and with City. Don't do that. Higgins isn't happy with the defense saying it's a shambles. Williams, Van de Ven, Dorgu in the fence. Spurs have 3 clean sheets and they're playing Leeds. Leeds at home. Leeds playing at home. Can see them. Right, get some Arsenal lads in. Higgins is all I'll say to you. We're on the Higgins hotline now. I did them. Yeah, fair enough. Do I replace him with no? Keep Bruno this week. Would you recommend swapping Salah to Saka? If you have nothing else really in the team, I probably would keep Salah, but there's nothing wrong with going Saka in for Salah if you have to. But if there's no other issues with your team, you can nearly just roll there and save the transfer after the international break. Why did you ask me that? 7 million. This has been my worst start ever. Get some chips using then, man. Get your chips in, is what I will say. Nico Williams to Gabriel, go with that, yeah. Or Gakpo to Saka, Nico Williams to Senesi. I like that second one. Gakpo to Saka and Williams to Senesi. Go with that. Michael will get to you here now as well. Use the wildcard early. Higgins early. Right, let's keep going here. Is our bench boost going to be active? Fionn, next week it will be. At Harva, Gakpo to Saka and Nico Williams to Senesi. Go with that. Michael, right, let's get into the Discord there. What are you saying? Raya, Gabriel, Van de Ven, Senesi and Dyer, Reinders, Semenyo, Bruno Fernandes, Gyökeres, Haaland and João Pedro. All good there, Michael. Haaland captain. You're good to go. Get that locked in there. Good stuff. I might move the vice captain over to Bruno Fernandes. Haaland should be fine to play anyway. If we do get news, is it 3 o'clock tomorrow? It is, isn't it? Or maybe I'll just leave things as is. Semenyo is still a decent pick. Or maybe I might just move the vice to Bruno. Just for now. That'll do. Save my team. Haaland, captain. All good there. Grand. Right, just for the viewers there. There's my full team there so you can see it. Nice one. Right, Haaland, captain. Bruno, vice. Grand. All good there. One player gimmick working well. 350k in ranking, fair enough. Minus, I'll take that back. Maybe this week I might hurt you with Arsenal against West Ham. Michael, no bother at all, man. Cheers for tuning in as always. Good stuff. 350k, good goal. Minus, I might affect it this week. Not having double Arsenal defence or having an Arsenal attacker if you're only having one Arsenal. Who is your Arsenal player minus? I'd be curious to know. Maybe Gabriel, or you might have an attacker in Gyökeres or Saka there. Do let us know. Gabriel or Timber for Van Dijk. Also Pedro or Gakpo this week. Gabriel or Timber for Van Dijk. If it was for free, fair enough. I'd still think Van Dijk could do well on the DEFCON, so not for a hit, definitely not. Also Pedro or Gakpo this week. Probably Gakpo. I can see Liverpool doing well in that game. Jolly Skydiver. I'm thinking of playing my bench boost. Raya, Gabriel, Anderson, Senesi, Semenyo, Reinders, Bruno, Ndai, Evan Nielsen, Haaland, Gyökeres. On my bench, Dubravka, Tarkowski, Richards, Stach. Leeds against Spurs. Stach might get some DEFCON in that game. Richards against Everton. Same with the two lads. Tarkowski and Richards could get some DEFCON in that. Dubravka, if you want to get it out of the way, just go with it. Get it out of the way. That's all good there. Gabriel, how do I share my team? It's interesting because I don't use Liverpool players too for good luck. Good stuff. Minus, if you want to just type it in, I know you can't really share that much, but just type it in and let's have a look at it. But there was one year an Everton fan actually won the whole of FPL by not having a Liverpool player all season. I actually did an Instagram video on it. I think it was at the start of the season, maybe early January. But on the last day of the season, the lad in second, Liverpool were playing West Brom, and the lad in second brought in Coutinho. Coutinho scored, which would have made the other fella win FPL, but he got the lad that won, the Everton fan, had Junior Stanislas sub into him. Junior Stanislas, if you remember him back in the day, he was a budget gem. He subbed in for 9 points. So there's an Everton fan that won FPL without owning any Liverpool players all season. If that's not a flex, that's some way to win FPL the whole game, which is crazy. So fair play to that lad. Send in the team there, minus if you can, but you're owning Gabriel, that's good. Fenerbahce, captaincy thoughts. Tempted by Cunha or Watkins this week. Haaland has been playing lots of 90s recency, so may finally get an early sub based on game state. I think with the international break, I think Haaland will be fine. An advert just came up on YouTube for Smith's Toys. Maybe that's why there's a drop off on the views there. But wow, they're everywhere. Richie G, that's mad. If you're not watching, I actually do their marketing. So there was no way. I'm not getting sponsored by Smith's Toys to have their ads on my YouTube channel. That's gas. I'm just gonna take a picture of your comment there, Richie, and I'm gonna send that into the work chat. But no, that's definitely not sponsored there. Good stuff. I'll be surprised to see which ad. Super Savings was it, or maybe the Lego ad that we put live today. That's gas. That's funny. Right, back to this. We've an hour to go until the deadline. What are we saying there? Nico Williams or Gabriel for -4. Just start Paqueta. Probably would just start Paqueta there. No need to do the -4. You need Gabriel getting an attacking return to pretty much break even there. So ignore that. Thinking of playing my bench boost. Dubravka, Tarkowski, Richard, Stash. I'd just go for that. Lock it in there. Right then, an hour and a minute to go. We're gonna say an hour. What are we on there? We're nearly on 40 likes. If you want to go down there, give the stream a like if you wouldn't mind. And we're on 97965, so we're 35 subs off hitting 8k. So if you are watching and you haven't subscribed, please head on down there, click subscribe. Keep the questions coming anyway. We'll try to keep you entertained. There has to be another option for 9 million. You've already can't get Saka because you've already 3. 3 already. 9.1 million midfielder. Let's have a look for Johnny here in the Patreon. He doesn't want to go Bruno Fernandes. So let's see who we're going with. All players here, midfielders. 9.1. We'll say 9.5. None of them. Minta isn't a bad shout. Gakpo, not mad on him. Has to be Bruno this week, Johnny. I'm sorry. Paqueta. Bruno has to be. Right, let's see what he says to that. Sean, team looks good for this week. I reckon wildcard in it to sort out the defence and bench options. What do you reckon? Petrovic, Pedro Porro, Senesi, Dorgu, Semenyo, Fulham, Reinders, Saka, Bruno, Haaland, captain. Starting 11 looks good. Looks good. Reassess after the IB. Nice one. James Adam, what do you think? FPL wildcarded last week and have 2 free transfers, 1.7 million in the bank. Raya, Virgil, Van de Ven, Senesi, Grealish, Reinders, Semenyo, Bruno, Gyökeres, João Pedro, Haaland. Good to go. Nice one, right. All good there. Bench okay. Alice, what are you saying? Statch, Anderson. Yeah, looks good. Looks good. Anderson, first defender, sub in case Gab doesn't play. Nice one. On my bench then I have Esteve, first defender. If Gabriel doesn't play, I do think he will play, so that's all good. Cash Kumar, bench 1 between João Pedro, Kudos and Dai Reinders, and bench 1 in the fence between Alderete and Tarkowski. Bench Alderete, play 1, bench 1 between João Pedro, Kudos and Dai Reinders. Probably it's between João Pedro and Kudos, maybe just João Pedro, just about. Of course I have João Pedro starting there, so keep that in mind. Maybe you want to do the same as me, but I think Kudos might get something in there to kick off against Leeds. Right, Pope, Gabriel, Guehi, Konsa, Semenyo, Grealish, Kudos, Bruno, Mitoma, Bowen, Haaland, bench, Dubravka, João Pedro. Surely you can start João Pedro of one of them. Maybe Mitoma. Was there something on Mitoma that he was a doubt? Let's get up here what I saw on Mitoma. Where are we going here on Mitoma? What did I see? Mitoma is a doubt, yeah. Are you considering bench boost this week? Mateus, next week for the bench boost, yeah. Definitely not this week. Burnley against Aston Villa. I don't want to double up on the Burnley defence against Aston Villa. Definitely not. So that's what we're saying there. Yeah, okay, good stuff. Out of those bench boosting or bench in, sorry, probably just JP, maybe. Minus Pope, Gabriel, right? This is your one per team. This is it, sorry, okay. Pope, Gabriel, Guehi, Konsa, Semenya, Grealish, Kudos, Bruno, Mitoma, Bowen, Haaland, bench Dubravka, João Pedro, Esteve, Henry. Might have to sub in João Pedro for Mitoma. Keep an eye on that though. Didn't notice I had 2 Burnley players because one has GK kit on, so you're cheating, minus. But no, fair play, you're going well there. Even cheeky Dubravka and Esteve double up next week if the rules allow it for you. But you're going well there. 300k. That's good to see. So to play Anderson in place of Gabriel, definitely not play a Gabriel. Gabriel could be an outside chance of a captaincy pick if he was fully fit this week. That's a very, very outside chance, by the way. I'd place Bruno, Semenyo and Gyökeres over him. But if for a differential captaincy pick this week for Gabriel, that could be some serious voodoo stuff going on there if you get a haul from Gabriel. But no, do not bench Gabriel. How do I decide when to bench boost minus? Just looking at the fixtures when I was wildcarding last week. I already had the Dubravka. I already was going to have Esteve. Just when Burnley have a good fixture. So look at their fixture next week. Game week 8 against Leeds at home. And then Caicedo. Chelsea away to Nottingham Forest. The only one thing I wonder is Caicedo travelling long for the international break. And then Ukulele at home to Wolves. Sunderland have surprisingly been very solid in defence. Ukulele then as well. Let's get him up here. 10-pointer against Palace in 0-4-10-4-6. That's crazy going for a Sunderland defender. If he gets 4 on the bench boost, I'd be absolutely delighted with that. So let's see how he does get on that. If I get 4 is 12. If I get DEFCONs all around, that's very ambitious. In the Bravka gets a couple of saves, that'll be 3. So 15 on a bench boost from DEFCONs. Give or take a clean sheet or 2. Let's see how we do get on, but I'm happy enough to play the bench boost next week, and let's see where we end up on that. Are you considered bench boost this week, Matthias? No, definitely not. Don't want it's just a fixture. Burnley at home to Leeds or Burnley against Aston Villa. I'm going the Leeds fixture for sure. Would you give yourself the heart problems of Bruno triple captain? Currently have it on Haaland or Lando? Definitely not. Captaincy is a big call on Bruno this week. Never mind triple captaincy. So I'd leave it on Haaland. Man City against Leeds and gave me 13. Minus, don't do the bench boost this week. Next week, gave me K for the bench boost. Definitely don't do it this week. Just so you're clear on that. Just save it for next week for the Burnley lads. Don't do it this week. Good stuff. Right, how are we now? 25-6, 54 minutes to go. Let's keep this going. Keep sending the questions if you wouldn't mind. Let's try and keep you entertained for the next 50 minutes or so. Start Kelleher Dubravka in nets this week. Probably Kelleher might get the save points. Is he going to save a Haaland penalty? That'd be gas if he does. Haaland, Bruno and Mbappe penalty saves in his last 3 then. If you wouldn't mind saving a good one for the international break then as well. We play Portugal. If you'd save one from Ronaldo then as well. If he saved a penalty from Haaland this weekend and then saved a penalty from Ronaldo over the international break, that'd be crazy. Who are we playing there? We're playing Armenia on Tuesday. I think we're playing Portugal on the Saturday. I think we are now. Let's get it up here. It's hardly the Sunday. Or no, it's in Portugal. Fair enough. But yeah, if he saves a penalty from Ronaldo then as well, fair enough. Kaiser, Bank 0, Raya, Gabriel, Senesi, Tarkowski, Richards, Bruno Fernandes and Dye, Semenyo, Sarr, Mateta, Haaland captain, João Pedro on the bench. Grealish bench. I wouldn't be benching Grealish either. Over and Dye, maybe fair enough, okay, because he has penalties. Interesting. Not a bad team there. João Pedro and Grealish on your bench. Could probably see points on your bench there. Would you bench boost? Kinski doesn't play. I don't think he does. Just because you have João Pedro and Grealish. Maybe no, he doesn't. Yeah, 3.9. So maybe call it off. So Rodon against Spurs. He got his goal last week, so he won't be getting an attack in return for a while. Or that's what you'd imagine anyway. But no, just with Grealish and João Pedro on the bench. Let's see. My Dixie wrecked FC Margot Robbie to Sydney Sweeney or roll. Roll on that. Or I'll do the transfer keeping my girlfriend there, so that's alright. I'll activate bench boost too then if you think Burnley have a good fixture in game week 8. Yeah, minus, go for that. You use wildcard previous game week. Darko. Yeah, I used wildcard last week. Let's get a better viewing up for you on screen there. Wildcard used last week, you could see I played it there. But yeah, we had good gains on the wildcard last week. I think about 900k we went up last week on the wildcard, so very good going. Of course, now this is what happens when we try and move this around. So bear with me one sec, and let's get this up again. It always does that. It goes black there, but here we go. Let's get this back up for you now, and we're back. Nice one, cool. That's weird. It happens every stream. Anyway, right, we're back with it. Grealish, Watkins, Ronaldo out, Walsmode and Dye, Timber in. No, I don't think I do them. Definitely not this week. No, you're leave that there. Grealish in is Grealish. Watkins can even do well against Burnley, so I wouldn't advise on that. Keep those transfers saved. Save it until after the international break. There is what I'd be saying. Right, good stuff. 50 minutes to go. Very very chilled stream here. Thoughts on Matty Cash as a 1 week punt, bit of an attacking potential, and Villa seems to defend a bit better, so good chance for a clean sheet. Wouldn't be using a transfer to bring him in, to be honest with you. Save Fenerbahce, save your transfers for after international break. Do not don't use that to bring in Cash, especially with Burnley. Anthony's been going well. Lyle Foster looks alright then too, so I wouldn't be that confident of an Aston Villa clean sheet. And I wouldn't be using a transfer to bring in an Aston Villa defender, especially just before the international break, so I wouldn't advise on that. Don't do that. Who should I buy or sell? I am playing wildcard. Oh, you're playing wildcard. That explains it, Kaiser. I try and get Dubravka on your bench. If you have your bench boost, it all depends. Are you making your team to build a bench boost also? If you aren't, João Pedro is fine. You'll want him for the weeks after. Kinski, you'd probably need an extra point of a million to get in Dubravka. Senesi, Tarkowski, Richards, Rodon is fine. Bruno Fernandes, Ndai, Semenyo, Sarr, Grealish, Mateta, Haaland, João Pedro. It's a strong wildcard team there. But who should I buy or sell? Bruno Fernandes is going to be a transfer out next week, but you want him for the Sunderland game this week. Surely you can save a bit of money in defence. You can't really. Gabriel, Senesi, Tarkowski. Even if you want to download Tarkowski to, I don't think you want to though. Compared to Anderson with his fixtures, just I'm thinking about DEFCON. Ndai, Semenyo, Sarr, Grealish. Even if you downgrade one of the Everton lads, if you're not playing Grealish this week, just downgrade them to Reinders, especially if you're bench boosting in game week 8 when Grealish can't play against Man City. Maybe think of it that way. Do you really want to double up on double Everton attack if you're benching one of them every week? Maybe not. So then use that to upgrade your goalkeeper Kinski to Dubravka. At least you have some bench cover with Dubravka then. And I think the rest of that team is good to go. Status Red and Donegal feel like the roof is going to come off. Yeah, I'm just looking out the window here. Trees are well blown at the moment. So not ideal. Right, 18 minutes to 6. Let's keep this going if we can. I think we've I'm after messing that up again. I am. Lovely. Right, I need to stop pressing that. Maybe because it can't be the first one that comes up. Right, so the pick team there. Let's get that uploaded there. Grand. We're back then. Right, let's stop touching that maybe. Gabriel or Timber, as per FF Fantasy Football Scout, Timber has better stats. I'll be going Gabriel. As I said in my thread last week, Gabriel was saving his attacking returns for the wildcarders, and he did last week's. And more chance of an attacking return from Gabriel than there is to Timber. I know Timber's got a few this week already, but I'd go Gabriel. Right. Cheers. No bother at all, Jamie. Any recommendations? FPL, happy to go, but was thinking of changing JP. 1.1 in the bank, 1 free transfer. Roll there, all good. Open to any suggestions here. Use 3 free transfers this week. Sanchez, Guehi, Gabriel, Tarkowski, Konsa, Reinders, Semenyo, Sarr, Haaland, Gyökeres, João Pedro. Wow. And then Gakpo, Frimpong on the bench as well. Oh, who would you start there? Konsa, Sanchez. Have to be starting Gakpo there. Over Konsa. Fenerbahce, thanks for the advice, mate. I will use the wildcard right after the deadline. So that is the reason I was looking for a 1 week defensive transfer, as my 2 defenders won't play due to injury. Right, let's go back to what you're saying then. What was your thoughts on Matty Cash? Fair enough, okay. If I was going for a defender this week, it had to be an Arsenal one. Maybe if you don't have Senesi, get Senesi in Fenerbahce. Who else if you don't have? That's a good transfer this week for a 1 week punt. Not even going to go near Dorgu. I won't even tell you go near Dorgu. Maybe even Dan Burn against Nottingham Forest. Maybe a better chance of a clean sheet, and maybe DEFCON there. That's what I'd be going with there. Fenerbahce over Matty Cash. I know he scored, but Senesi or Dan Burn as your defenders. Definitely Senesi, but I'm going to assume you have him already. Dan Burn isn't a bad shout there. Joseph, would you play Gakpo or Van de Ven, or transfer Gordon in for Gakpo and play him Gakpo over Van de Ven? Save your free transfer for after the international break. FPL Foxy, hey mate, top stream. Gotta keep Wood, already took a -4 wildcard after the deadline. Can we get a shout out for the pain train at FPL Alf? Shout out to you there, FPL Alf. Good man, good stuff. Gotta keep Wood, already took a -4. Wow, you have some patience to be keeping Chris Wood up until game week 7. I know he returned since game week 1. That 2 goals in game week 1 maybe got sucked into keeping him then every week, but wow. The other strikers at Igor for Forest is going well, so could it be the end of FPL for Chris Wood? Is that after going again? No, we're good now, right? Sound. Is it Igor Jesus or something for Forest? Am I right in saying that? Interesting. Igor Jesus, yeah, fair enough. Grand. Nice one, good stuff. While we're here as well, let's get some chat going then as well. If you, I might be getting brought to a game by Tops, who are the match attacks cards, or the collecting cards. If you could go to any Premier League game you wanted before the Christmas, what game would you pick? Because that's something I might have to be looking into now. I was looking at Spurs and Arsenal. Maybe stay away from United game because I'm going to one in October. Meant to be going to one in October anyway. I still have to sort out that then as well. But maybe not a United game. If you could go to any Premier League game between now and the Christmas, do let us know which one you pick, because I have to get back with a game that I want to go with. I'm thinking something as a neutral and not get too fussed about Man United games, and because I can go to one of them anytime I want. Maybe I go to somewhere different. Maybe I can go to a Newcastle and Sunderland game, maybe. But yeah, something for the chat there. If you'd one game you could go to before Christmas, let us know, and it'll get me giving ideas. Right, how are we on the like total then? We're nearly on 50 likes. We're on 45 likes. If you haven't liked the stream, go down there, give the stream a like if you wouldn't mind, and let's get the 50 likes in the next couple of minutes or so. Start Gakpo or Pedro. Probably Gakpo. Start the 2 if you can, but out of those, probably Gakpo. Start Mateta or Pedro. Definitely Mateta. He's been called up to the French side as well, so wouldn't be surprised if he does well. Is my draft team okay? For my main team FPL, starting 11 is exactly like yours. My first defender on the bench is Anderson. Who would you pick as first defender between Anderson and Esteve? Anderson. Yeah, it looks a bit ugly for next week, so I'd say wildcard on the cards. Fair enough, good stuff. Draft team: Pope, Pedro Porro, Timber, Senesi, Bruno, Kudos, Grealish, Doku, Mateta, Walter Mudd, Isaac. Looks good there too. Right, good stuff. Yeah, I was on the fence. Nice one. Good stuff. Right, sound. Let's go back to Higgins here then as well. As he locking in the wild card, or what is he doing, or is he still giving out? That's the question. I don't think you read my message. I just said I have one free transfer. I'm using the wild card next week. One free transfer. So point, how much are you in the bank? 0.3 in the bank. Nico Williams, you can't get anyone there really. Is Timber more than 5'3"? Calia Fury, Timber 5'8", so you can't get to them. Fair enough. Timber 5'3" for a defender. Guehi, you wouldn't even want any of those, no. Attacking wise is fine. Roll the transfer, so. Right. Good stuff. Right, let's get back to this. What's the chat saying there? Start Mateta or Pedro? Have to start Mateta this week over Pedro. that's everyone pretty much gone for there. Wind is crazy outside here too. Anything else there? Someone asking about you're putting yourself into a corner then. I think I'm just after getting a message here. I think a lot of content creators are missing a trick that we can get 5 transfers to your AFCON and you can handpick your bench. Might be one for you to point out. Better to save the transfers anyway. Interesting. What's been my best FPL moment through all the years? I'm so confused now. Do you remember the Van Persie hat-trick on Monday night against Aston Villa? First off, it won United the league, but that won me a massive money league. I captained him on a Monday night. I remember watching it with my father then as well. It was the night United won the league. I don't know what year it was anyhow, but it was that iconic goal of Rooney hitting the ball over the top and Van Persie getting on the volley to complete his hat-trick. Captain Van Persie that night, and that was definitely one of the highlights of FPL, obviously of the ranks over the years, and as well top 10k, top 11k, 2 top 16ks, and an odd one then as well, but maybe Charlie Taylor for Burnley getting an assist last year, the year before, in the first couple of minutes when I subbed him in. The only reason I started off on him was to have him for that game, and he ended up getting an assist. I think it was his only attack and return all season. And then I'll give you one more while we're here then as well. Thomas Sorensen, when who was that Wigan fella that scored from the halfway line? Figueroa for Wigan scored from the halfway line in like the 90th minute or something. Wiped out my Thomas Sorensen clean sheet. Was absolutely devastated. This is when Stoke were great for the defence in FPL, and then in the 90 plus minutes Wigan got a penalty and Sorensen saved the penalty. I remember watching that on teletext, saying a penalty miss, and then running to the computer, an old style computer back then, and seeing Sorensen getting a penalty save. That was another highlight then as well. There's too many highlights anyway over the years playing FPL, but plenty lowlights as well. But anyway, start Sanchez or Dubravka this week. I was saying this on my Instagram post. I probably would start Dubravka over Sanchez. I do see Liverpool scoring in that game. Chelsea looking very, very first off very weak and injury wise. Plenty of injuries. 8 players out for this weekend. So I do think Liverpool will capitalise on that. Might be good for some Sanchez save points, but I don't think I'll be starting Sanchez. Dubravka might pick up a few save points also. And there's always a chance of Aston Villa not being able to score off a hangover from European football. Ndai or Tarkowski on the 11. Definitely Ndai. Get Ndai into your team there. Try and get Tarkowski then as well. Surely you can. But yeah, I'll be going Ndai and just try and sub in Tarkowski if you're able to. Virgil, Gabriel, Munoz, Lacroix, Senesi, bench 1 out of those. Virgil, Gabriel, Munoz, Lacroix, Senesi, bench 1. Maybe Lacroix, just maybe even Munoz, but I do think you play Van Dijk, especially at his price point. If you're benching Van Dijk, you shouldn't have him at all at that price point, 6 million. You should be starting him every game, considering the chance of DEFCON then as well. Gabriel is obviously first name on the team sheet this week alongside Senesi, so definitely Gabriel, Virgil and Senesi. Between Munoz and Lacroix has probably got DEFCON in how many? At least 4 games this season. Munoz hasn't, only got 1, if I'm right in saying that. Lacroix here, 34 points. Gone are the days now where you want a defender who can actually get attack and returns. They have to be able to get DEFCON then as well. Lacroix got 3 out of 6. Very unlucky not to get 4 out of 6. 9 against Aston Villa and gave me 3. And then I think Munoz has only got 1 DEFCON. So maybe you go with to be fair, go with Munoz. He was unlucky not to get a goal against Liverpool last week then as well. Yeah, 1 DEFCON against Aston Villa. but very unlucky not to get it against Liverpool last week, and very unlucky not to get an attack and return against Liverpool last week. So maybe stick Munoz in there for the chance of attacking returns. Fishing and Foul there. Fishing and Foul, cheers for tuning in as always. Hope you're keeping well, man. I'm doing well, hope you are as well. As it were, playing my bench boost this week. I still have triple captain and bench boost and free hit left to play like myself. My bench is Enzo, Fernandez, Anderson, Rodon and Dubravka. Keep for next week. Dubravka against Leeds. Dubravka against Leeds in that game. Rodon against Burnley. If you get a 0-0, you're laughing in that game. Enzo against Nottingham Forest next week, and then Anderson. Is that the Fulham one? I think it is the Fulham one against Chelsea the next week. Maybe you might get some DEFCON in that game. I'd save it for next week, Fishing and Foul. Do let us know if you're alright with that. But you might even get lucky with a 0-0 in that Burnley and Leeds game, or you might get some DEFCON for Rodon. Let's see. But no, I wouldn't bother with it this week. Rodon against Spurs. Can see Spurs getting one. Can see Leeds scoring of course anyhow, but at home, especially being at home. But I do think it's better off saying it for next week also. 32 in the chat. We're so close to hitting 50 likes. If you wouldn't mind going down there, giving the stream a like also, and hit that subscribe button if you haven't done so already. We're about 32, 33 off hitting 8k. The aim was to get it before the end of the stream. We might struggle to get it, but that's alright if we don't get it this week. But your support is greatly appreciated. We might hit it next week, we'll see. But we might even hit it this week before the end of the stream. Let's see. Fishing and Foul though, I'd save your bench juice for next week if that's alright, man. Ambient Dream Core, transferring Minta and Isidore or Walter and Xhaka. Not who are you getting rid of first off? Is it for free? Is it for hits? I know a lot of people are jumping on Walter, fair enough, because Vissa's out for another couple of weeks anyhow, so maybe go with the Walter move. Right, all good there. Right, is Gabriel expected to start? Arteta says he's not concerned about Gabriel, so he'll be fine there. Leo Cannon in the chat. Shout out Leo. Everything you're seeing on screen here has been made by Leo. So shout out to Leo here. I suppose you better help him with his team. I told him to get rid of Doku, not before the Burnley game. I told him he'd be a transfer waiting to happen. Thankfully he didn't listen to me, and he got his 2 assists for Doku last week. What are you saying, Leo, here? Let me just sort this out on stream. Right, free transfer for Walter in for Richarlison. I have Haaland and João Pedro plus 3 Arsenal already. I think keep Richarlison, or maybe you go for it because of Nottingham Forest. I do think Spurs will get some against Leeds tomorrow, but with the fact it's in Ellen Road, maybe Spurs might struggle. Walter is a better long-term transfer, Leo, to be fair, so maybe get him in for the Nottingham Forest game and go for that. The only downside is he isn't on penalties. Surprised to see Gordon taking them, especially with the striker on the pitch. He scored obviously 2 during the Champions League, but probably just go for it, Leo. But I do think Richarlison might get something, but long term it's a better shout bring them in, especially with Viss out for the next while anyhow. Salah or Gyökeres captain. Gyökeres out of those, nothing wrong with Salah, but if you're not captain on Salah, and if you have him, it might be a waste of 14.5 million in your team. Go to 4-4-2 or use a free transfer to change Dewsbury Hall to another 5 million mid. 4-4-2 Anthony is what I'd be going there. Should I keep Wood? I'll be getting rid of him, whether it's for Richarlison or Walton Wood there. Just go for that, get him out of the team there. Wood, even Igor Jesus could be taking a spot then as well. He's been going well in the European games for Nottingham Forest. Jack, I've had a shocking start to looking for a differential as Walton Wood, the barista, where the barista is right, yeah. He looks like Voller as well. I used to play for Germany. Voller, isn't it Germany? What was his name? Rudy Voller. He looks like Voller back in the day. But definitely barista then as well. He just looks typical German. And yeah, so he does. But nothing wrong with going for him for a punt anyway for the next while. Saka Salah or Gyökeres captain, probably Gyökeres there. Go for that. Henderson, Senesi, Van de Ven, Gabriel and Dai Reinders, Fernandes, Semenyo, Kudus, Bruno or Richarlison, Haaland, bench Dubravka, Konsa, Gyökeres. You get Gyökeres on. Would you bench boost this week? Senesi, Van de Ven. You're moving Van de Ven to the bench anyway. Konsa instead of Van de Ven. Gyökeres. To be honest, there's nothing wrong with it. Maybe just do it to get it out of the way. Maybe. Thomas, best of luck, Aaron, everyone. Last week's wildcard kick set of my season. Here's some more green arrows. Love that. Thomas, good man. And thanks again for being a member on the channel. That's very much appreciated, as always. Right, 6 o'clock, half an hour to go until the deadline. Appreciate the help playing in the League of Ireland FPL this year, Anthony. I was. Then I just got caught. I do some media work with Galway United. Obviously, the deadline was 6:30, or is 6:30 for the League of Ireland stuff every Friday. And whenever I was travelling to the Galway United, whenever I was travelling to DC Park, I always got there just after 6:30 and always forgot about it. Just always rushing in traffic after work. So I say I played it for the first 3 or 4 weeks. There's a few slight bugs in it in the League of Ireland team. I didn't like the way if your player didn't play, you didn't get your subbed into the starting 11, which is kind of annoying, especially when you're not that familiar with the full League of Ireland teams outside of Galway. Well, myself anyway. But I've definitely learned a good bit this season on League of Ireland. But it's good to see for the league anyway. Are you playing an Anthony? I think I still have Moses Dyer in my team then as well, so that probably explains or gives an indication of the last time I've changed my team. But sad to see him go, Dyer, then as well. I saw he scored a penalty for his Cambodian team last week to win 3-2 in a cup game, was it, or something. But let us know, Anthony, how you're getting on. Sean Friend in the chat. Sean, good man, good to see you, man. Gaming with Cobble Monster 10, bench Dubravka, Esteva, Gakpo and Senesi. Valid bench boost this week. Go for it, especially with Senesi and Gakpo, Dubravka and Esteve. Go for it. That's a very strong bench boost. Or maybe you have a few lads in your starting 11 that you could probably bench and save it for another week. But looking at that bench boost, that's very much worthy of a bench boost there. Haven't been hearing a bit, Sean. That's all good. Send in your questions ahead of the deadline and we'll try and help you. We've got a message off Johnny Sexton here. What are we saying, Johnny? Bench boosting this week. What are you doing? Calvert-Lewin, Munoz, Esteve. I have 2 free transfers there. Mine fall out international break. Nothing wrong with that. Prob a better chance of this week against. I'm saving mine for 8. Yeah, some bugs in League of Ireland one, definitely. I'm top 100 this year. A lot to keep up with, having FPL back too. Good stuff, Anthony. That's good going. I don't even know what rank I was when I officially stopped playing it, but that's good stuff. You're going well there. Nice one. Who's even top scorer? Has someone passed out Dyer in the league? I'm actually not sure. No questions this week, but when I'm wildcarding next week, I'll be along to pester you. Pester away, man. That's all good. Right then, how are we looking there? We're 1 sub off hitting. We're 31 subs. Never mind about the 1 sub. We're 31 subs away from hitting 8k. If you can at all, if you are watching and you're not subscribed, any burner accounts you might be logged into then as well, go down there, click subscribe. Let's try and get there if we can at all, or close to it, in the next 26 minutes or so before the deadline. But we're nearly at the deadline. Fundles in the chat. What's good, bro? Thoughts on Salah to Saka this game week to afford Krupi de Bowen next game? We can free up a third Bournemouth slot for Senesi and still have 1.5 million in the bank. Salah to Saka this week is fine. I do think Salah can still do well against Chelsea, but if you're looking to free up money elsewhere, nothing wrong with going with that. So that's nothing wrong there at all. Atul, Timber, Byrne, Guehi, Van de Ven, Rodon. Should I play 4 in defence or 3? If 3, pick please help. No bother. Timber, Byrne, Guehi. There's your 3 there too, if that's alright. Good chance of DEFCON there throughout those 2 lads, Byrne and Guehi. Van de Ven probably will concede against Leeds. That's what I'd say. Start Van de Ven or Alderete. Alderete or Van de Ven. Can see United get a couple, so maybe Van de Ven. Can see probably both conceding. More chance of DEFCON maybe from Alderete. So maybe go Alderete actually. That's what I'll be saying. If you're looking for clean sheets, Van de Ven, better chance of a clean sheet, but Alderete, better chance of DEFCON. So maybe we'll go with the DEFCON, considering I think both will concede. 7KZ, which defender and forward are the best 1 week punt for Game Week 7? Richarlison, Strand Larson, Welbeck, Gabriel anyway for the defender. Gabriel and Richarlison is what I'll be saying there. Right then, good stuff. 25 minutes to go. Everyone happy in the Patreon. Semenyo captain a bit mad. Nothing wrong with it. Bench boost with Dubravka, Guehi, João Pedro, Esteve. Better fixture for Burnley. Shout out for Founds Albion. Start Van de Ven or Alderete. Going back to what we were saying there in the DEFCON. That's what I'd probably be going at there. Which defender and forward are the best? Yeah. So you plan to not make any transfers this week, Kevin? Yeah, we're rolling this week. I'll have 3 for after the transfer break. Then Alex, 2 free transfers at 0.7 in the bank. Roll and assess with break after with 3 free transfers. All good to go there. Good to go, Alex. Roll. Nice one. Right. Keep the questions coming in then as well. 24 minutes to go until the deadline. Have 2 free transfers. All good there. No chips used yet, Kenny. Right. 61%, 148 votes. 61% on 1 chip, which is good to see then as well. Nice one. All good. Right. Just going through here any news that I'm seeing. Nothing major. Looking at the timeline on Twitter, a couple of people looking to use triple captaincy this week, which is interesting. Start one of Virgil, Guehi, Van de Ven. I think you have to go Virgil there. Yeah, a lot of people rolling then as well. Yeah, John, I'll be starting Virgil out of those. 1 week punt out of Richarlison, Strand Larson, Welbeck, 7KZ. I'll be going Richarlison there. That's what I'll be advising on. Get rid of Foden or Gravenberch, and who to replace either of them with. What's your budget, Connor? If you can go from Foden to Saka, Foden to Bruno for 1 week, or even just leave Foden in the team. There was a quote. Let me see what Pep said on Foden. What did he say? He said something hinting that he'll start, but with that, yeah. Pep on Phil Foden, he's the best player we have in the small space in the final third by far, in the sense of assists and especially in the sense of goals in the small spaces. How he turns in attack and desire to score a goal is the best we have. Fair enough. Foden actually has a good record against Brentford. I'm nearly sure I benched him for his hat-trick against Brentford a year or 2 ago. So maybe keep Foden in. He's got a good record against Brentford. Yeah, I remember benching him. That was midweek games, I'm nearly sure, or was it a Monday night? And he scored a hat-trick in that game. He's a troll player for me anyway, Foden. So I just keep him out. And I nearly went from last week. The fact he came out at 1 point sums him up really against Burnley. Good stuff. Cheers to the new subs there then as well. We're 30 subs off hitting 8k. Timber, Burn, Guehi, Van de Ven, Rodon. Should I play 4 in defence if 3? Timber, Burn and Guehi, Atu. That's what I'll be saying there. Is it a risk having no Arsenal attackers this week, Sakib? It is definitely. If you can't get Gyökeres or Saka, try and get one of them at least. Even if that's doing a sideways move or. I do think you need at least 1 Arsenal defender, if not 2. Maybe 1 isn't enough with the amount of people on the double up after the wildcard last week. So yeah, that's what I'll be saying there. Get one of those in. Worth the Foden or downgrade to Minta. I like Minta. Let's have a look at Brighton's fixtures over the next couple of weeks. I do like Minta though. Especially I've only watched them so far this season in the Spurs game. Was probably unlucky not to get a few returns last week against Chelsea as well. He did get a return. He got an assist last week, fair enough. But he's taking it along nicely. Newcastle, Man United, Leeds, Crystal Palace, Brentford, Forest, Aston Villa. He does look good. Maybe not at this time, at this stage. But who else? What were you saying there? Minta. Where is the question on Minta? Where are we gone there? Or downward to Minta. Probably verts to Foden on the basis. Foden likes playing against Brentford. Luke Devaney, what are you saying, Luke? Where are you gone? Greetings from Toulouse era. Hoping to hold wildcard till game week 13 here. Team now is similar to yours, except no Gyökeres. You're doing well. So if you don't have if you haven't used your wildcard and you still have pretty much all my players apart from Gyökeres, nothing wrong with that at all. Good stuff from Toulouse. Cheers for tuning in. Also have no Bruno, but have great success never going for United players. Yeah, I do think this is another 10-pointer haul potential for Bruno this week. It's whether or not if we do get a penalty, who's going to take it. 2 penalty misses. I spoke about it in the video during the week. The guts of 20 plus points dropped by Bruno by missing those 2 penalties. -4 for each penalty missed. And he would have got a 10-pointer against Fulham. He would have got a 10-pointer last week against Brentford. Probably more than 20 points dropped. Which is absolutely crazy when you think about it. 20 points is about, in this stage of things, it could be 200, easily 300 plus K rank wise. So 2 kicks of a ball and he's missed it. Yeah, so not ideal. But anyway, what's my transfers this week, or am I rolling? Yeah, I'm rolling this week. We're all good on that. Right then, let's see there. As Anthony Gordon were to shout, not a bad one. Also have no Bruno Grand. Sakib, you have double defence Arsenal. Will take me 2 moves to get in one of them by downgrading JP and Foden to Saka, or vice versa for Gyökeres. Don't do it, so Sakib. No point to do that at all. Definitely don't bother with that. Double Palace defence this week. Emmanuel, probably wouldn't bother against Everton. Probably being a bit biased with Ndiaye in my team myself, but no, I wouldn't bother with it. I think Bruno gets one more chance. It depends. Mbeumo is undoubtedly better at them though. Conversion wise, sorry. Yeah, he is definitely. Surprised even Cunha isn't sniffing about to take one then as well. But if he misses one, 3 penalty misses. I haven't seen much of Rolfs, the Sunderland keeper, how good he is or not, but I think he's been racking up the save points over the season so far. But surely, even the Dubravka one, when I was watching that Electric Picnic, actually Dubravka went the right way, didn't he? I think he did. Yeah, two penalties missed, 1 scored so far for Bruno, so maybe he's 1 away from losing it altogether. So never mind about that. Just keep your team as is. No point taking a hit for those. Who would you bench out of Ndiaye, João Pedro and Minta? Maybe João Pedro out of those. Yeah, Sigmund starting both Van Dijk and João Pedro. Yeah, I can't. It's either going to be Caicedo, and that's my bench there, so I'm happy enough to leave João Pedro starting. His ownership is sky high anyway, so I wouldn't be too fussed about keeping him on the bench or putting him on the bench. It's more just for rank, keeping João Pedro in if he does get a return. I'm hoping Liverpool will get their clean sheet because a lot of people have jumped off Van Dijk, but let's see where we do end up before, or how the games fare out at the weekend. Nearly on 60 likes then as well. Go down there, click like on stream if you haven't done so already, and let's try and get to 60 likes. Where it might be a bit of a push trying to get to 8k, but go down there, give the stream a like and click subscribe if you haven't done so already. We're so close hitting 8k, so it'd be great to hit it before the international break, but maybe it's going to be after the international break now, but there's always a chance. We've 16 minutes to go. Yeah, in Mbeumo then as well, Luke, and even Cunha then as well. That's what I was saying there. Right, then make sure everyone else is happy here. Is getting rid of Ryan there a bad call for who? I'll leave it. Arsenal attackers could punish me this week. Hopefully Nuno gets the bus parked. As long as they get their clean sheet, I don't mind Yokera's blank, and I want my double Arsenal offensive clean sheet, so that's fine on that anyway, if he does. Right then, score wise, looking at this week, then we're happy with that. Van Dijk, I'm not going to start a stay a bit against Aston Villa over Van Dijk, definitely not. Always chance Van Dijk gets his butted header against in these tough games, or these 6-pointer games really at the top of the table. So I'm happy to keep Van Dijk there. I went Van Dijk over Tarkowski on wildcard. At the moment, Van Dijk is beaten him by a point. So I'm going to play it out like that for the next couple of weeks, just judging between Virgil and Tarkowski. Any news on Twitter here then also? 7 game weeks in anyway. What's that? We're not even a quarter of the way through the season, so there's still, I wouldn't even bother with your rank up until Christmas. We're ranked at 966k overall. We're going well to be inside the top 1 million already, but I do think it's game week 10 to 15 when you really need to start looking at your rank. Then 5 points could get you up 100k places. Pretty much even a -4 can get you down 50-60k places, so I wouldn't read too much into the ranks yet, but we're going well. Pope, Timber, Saka, or Raya, Gabriel, Bruno. Raya, Gabriel, Bruno. Easy, I'm going to say. Raya, Gabriel, Bruno. Yeah. Van de Ven or Dorgu this week. Van de Ven. Dorgu and Sunderland, meh. Maybe Dorgu. I can see Leeds getting something. So maybe Dorgu, but I'm not mad on either of those this week. Right, 13 minutes to go. Let's keep this going. We're still live there. Grand. Nice one. Yeah, Dorgu. Let's get up Dorgu there. Is he even? He is getting starts, but is he getting anywhere close to DEFCON? Or he had a good pre-season where he got a goal and an assist, but apart from that he's on bugger all. He got an assist against Chelsea, fair enough. DEFCON 776045, so nearly there, just not quite there in the DEFCON. That's the way the wing backs this season. That's not suited to the point scoring. It's the DEFCON monsters you want in your teams, not the wing backs. Even the likes of Munoz, he doesn't seem an attractive pick this year just because of the DEFCON. You'd nearly prefer an Anderson or a Richards or a LaCroix over Munoz. Save yourself 0.5 million there going with those. Luke, you're going well with the triple captain on hand. A lot of content creators struggling. There is a lot of content creators struggling. I just have to keep making sure I'm getting up the ranks anyway. We've had 4 green arrows in a row, which is great, but I just need to keep going up the ranks, and hopefully that'll get the channel out, a few more eyes on the channel. But it's a long struggle, or not even a struggle, it's a long journey, this YouTube crack. But I'm at it 2 years now, probably 3 years. Let's see when it finally starts ticking. But we're going well on the ranks. Just need to keep getting up the ranks, as I'm saying. But it doesn't matter on ranks really until game week 10 to 15, near Christmas time anyway. When the game weeks are coming ticking fast. Igor, Romero, Varial, Gabriel and Senesi in my first 11. Bench anyone for JP. Maybe Romero. I'd bench Romero, play JP over him, yeah. Owen O'Neill, plan is to wildcard over the international break and getting in the DEFCON defenders. Yeah, fair. You got sucked into the Dorgo. I nearly got sucked in at the start of the year. Thankfully I didn't go for him. Hopefully you get an attacking return from Dorgo or something this week. As long as he's setting up Bruno Fernandes, that's all good with me. Foden or Bruno or anyone else, I'm on free hit. Bruno, if you're on free hit. Although I said Foden has a good record against Brentford, so maybe you go Foden. But I do think this is the week Bruno can do well. I'd be eyeing up a captaincy on Bruno if Haaland had a difficult fixture. Bruno would probably have been my second choice for the captaincy. Johnny Sexton's listened to me. He's saving the bench boost for next week as well. Johnny, good man. When Burnley have the better fixture, good stuff. Right then, 10 minutes to go until the deadline. Anything else there? Keep the questions coming if you can. We're on 60 likes then, which is great to see also. And cheers to the subs then on stream then too. We're 27. If any of you know me, my lucky number is 27. We're 27 off 8k. That's funny. Would you change the bench at all? Would you start Munoz? Let's see here. Right, what are we saying? It's a blind fade as a United fan, unfortunately, that drew me into Dorgu. Same, I nearly fell into it then as well. Mark is working well this week. He was worked much better compared to the first few weeks when he came back. For sure he's going to get minutes for us and play games. Interesting, 4.3 million. Yeah, just like Munoz and Calvert-Lewin. Would you change the bench at all? Start Munoz. Start him over. Maybe. At home. Good evening, Keane. What is your thoughts on the team at the minute? I've got Sells, Dubravka, Tarkowski, Senesi, Van de Ven, Rodon, Esteve, Dewsbury Hall is suspended anyway. Salah, Semenyo, Stach, Reinders, Haaland, Ekitike. Ekitike is injured out as well. Sells, Dubravka, you're probably going to start Dubravka. Would you over Sells this week? Tarkowski, Senesi, Van de Ven is fine. Salah, Semenyo, Stach, Reinders, probably a bit of a... You need Ekitike gone maybe to Walter mode. Maybe Ekitike to Walter mode there, yeah. What's the full quote on Ekitike? If it's a hamstring injury or what, is he fully out? Was it a hamstring injury? I think it was. Igor, damn, I bench Gabriel, ask him if Romero does well and he's on my bench, I'm installing the game. I think 27 Jordana is right, yeah. She knows anyhow. Good stuff. What were we saying there? Ekitike, I think he was out for... Was he confirmed out? Let's see. Ekitike and Chiesa will be back in training today. Interesting. Okay, so maybe he might be alright, but he might be benched. Isaac probably might get the start this week. Good luck with the game, mate. Going with cash as the 1 week punt. Hopefully pays off. I hope it does well for you. So Fenerbahce, cheers for tuning in as always, man. Appreciate that. Donald having a mare so far, man. Let's hope the weekend changes things. How's the team looking, Donny? Send it in there if you can. 7 minutes till the deadline. We're nearly there. We've been going for the last... How can I see there? I'd say it's the last hour and 50, is it? Hour and 51. So we're getting there. 7 minutes to go. Get your teams locked in if you can, anyway. Good stuff there. Grand. All good. I was thinking Calvert-Lewin and Munoz for Van de Ven and Ndai Gakpo. I'd keep Ndai there. Would just about keep. Right, 6 minutes. Start Ndai or Pedro. Both are probably on penalties, but I probably would start Ndai there. What else have we there then? 6 minutes. Let's keep this going. We're nearly there. Raya, Virgil, Gabriel, Senesi, Semenyo, Reinders, Bruno, Ndai, João Pedro, Haaland, captain, Gyökeres, all good there. As you can see then, if I hit this, 2 free transfers for now, 3 free transfers after the international break would be lovely. And we're well stocked up on the transfers then. Shane O'Donnell, best of luck all. Grealish to Gordon and Anderson to Anthony for bench boost prep next week. I probably should have went Anthony myself, so fair play. Kevin entering. What about Semenyo captain? Would you consider Kevin? Definitely would. If you don't have Haaland, you should have Haaland anyway. Semenyo's a nice pick for the captaincy. I'd rank it Haaland, Bruno, Semenyo, 1, 2, 3. But Semenyo can easily do well, so I'd probably give him a punt if you want to with the armband. There's absolutely nothing wrong with going for that. If you do want that. Only thing is though, if you go Semenyo captain on a Friday evening and he blanks, long weekend ahead, especially with Haaland playing on the last fixture on Sunday, that might ruin your weekend. Might just ruin your week. It depends what FPL does to you. But it definitely would ruin mine if I captain Semenyo and he blanked, and then Haaland hauled on the last game of a Sunday evening. Right, annoying me how strong the template is. I got there before crowd, so squad value is sky high. Good stuff. I thought I moved that down, did I? Just about. Yeah, the template is very templated now between triple Arsenal, double City, double Bournemouth. It's the only differentials in the team is probably your 4th or 5th mid, and then whether you go 3-5-2 or 3-4-3 with Gyökeres or even Foden as a 3-5-2. My own main differential at the moment is Van Dijk, and it's mad to call him a differential. He's not even a differential, but I think when I'm nearly sure on live FPL he was saying he was a differential for me. Great stuff. Hopefully the storm will settle down. Still looking windy outside, not too bad, but I think we should be fine. At least we're parked right outside this office anyway, so we'll be fine for getting home. Fingers crossed. Sound, I'll leave it off. Thank you, no bother. My team is in, isn't it? I put my team in. I did, didn't I? Right, good stuff. 3 minutes to go until the deadline. We're just about to hit 1,000 views as well, which is good to see. Do you think Pape Sarr gets a start, mate, between him and Strand Larson for the bench? Wolves are playing who? Would you start the Wolves lad, considering he's going to be on penalties also? Wolves are playing Brighton. Wolves at home, maybe have Strand Larson over Sarr. My bench, Yash, is Dubravka, Caicedo, Esteve, Mukalele. Looking at a bench boost next week. Two minutes to go, so make sure your teams are locked in, and that's going to be another deadline stream. That went quick to 2 hours anyway, even though there's not much happening in my team wise anyway, with the team well set up for the weekend anyway. But before you go, do drop a like on the stream if you haven't done so already. We're so close to hitting 70 likes on stream then as well, 63. And before you go, if you haven't subbed to the channel, if you wouldn't mind hitting subscribe on the channel, we're 27 subs off hitting 8k. We might hit it next week, or if we do a YouTube video on Sunday, that could be our next goal anyway. We will see. See anything else on the timeline then as well, just making sure everyone is happy in the Patreon. All good. Quiet week as well. Michael, I'll go with this. So Bruno's last week, I feel. Yeah, one more week for him. One more week for him, and he'll be gone. Thanks to the stream, Niall, Jason, and thanks for being in the Patreon as well, Jason. Really do appreciate that, man. Hopefully the week is good for you once again on the Green Arrows. Now we're just pretty much waiting for the deadline. Looking through here for any news on Twitter. Semenyo and Senesi tonight. Cash, Poro, Nico Williams, Cunha, Foden, Kudos, Bruno, Mbeumo, Haaland captain, Watkins. Wow. Gone Munoz. Fair. Good man, Jason. Game week 7, Haaland, all on Haaland. Lots still with Nottingham Forest defenders. I don't really understand that now. with their start to the season. Someone taking a hit for a goalkeeper. Twitter's a mad place for FPL. Just the bubble of Twitter. It's such a small bubble compared to the actual world of FPL. Right then, that's another deadline stream out of the way. I'm going to see if there's any team news quickly before we go, but before you head off, if you wouldn't mind going down there, click and like on the stream, click and subscribe if you haven't already. Cheers to all the new subs throughout this stream also. That's very, very much appreciated. And yeah, that's another deadline stream. We're going to throw up my tweet here quickly now just to get a screenshot of this, or maybe we've missed it, have we? Yeah, I think we still have it on our camera roll anyhow. Yeah, all good there. We did. Nice one. Just throw this up. Anything else, do send it in the comments below. As I said, 61%, 188 votes. 61% have only used one chip. If you're on Twitter, you'd think 70-80% have used a couple of chips. Transfer. Throw this up. Right, nice one. One more game week and then we've got an international break where I better start loading up on my captaincy videos so I'm not out in the piss and rain once again. I've purchased a new football from Elvery, so no excuses now not to be out filming then as well. William then as well, great effort again, keep it up man, appreciate that, and thanks always just for the support over the last 2 years or so. William, good man. Hopefully some green hours for you this week. But yeah, that's another deadline stream. Just quickly scrolling through here to see if we have any news on the timeline. Gabrielle in training at least, which is good to see. Good, nice one there. Yeah, we're looking through. Maybe there, Focal really actually he's done it. Good boy, Oscar. We're just throwing up our tweet there then as well, saying that the team is locked in. Let's get that up there then as well. Nice one, Oscar. This is mad when this happens. CH then as well. Good luck for the weekend. Take care, Brunner Fly. Appreciate that, man. We're locked in there. We're looking for it then as well. Oscar, you absolute legend. I think we might hit it then as well. We're just throwing up our tweet there as well. Throwing up our story on Instagram too. But yeah, we're locked in. That's a team on screen there. 966k overall. You left it on 1 minute subscribe time before messaging. Raid fail Niall. Damn. Sorry, Oscar. I thought that's what I should have done anyway. Let's. I better change that so that it shouldn't be on a minute. I thought that's what you should be doing. Locked behind 1 minute follow requirement. Damn. Anyway, I can turn that up. Appreciate that, Oscar. That's class. We're so close hitting 8k subs. We're just 15 off. I need to turn that off. Focal, apologies. It shouldn't be on 0. These things are mad, yeah. But that's the team locked in. Raya, Virgil, Gabriel, Senesi, Semenyo, Reinders, Bruno, Ndai, Joe Pedro, Haaland and thing. I'm after ruining the raid, Focal, damn. If you are new to the channel, please do consider going down there. I know Oscar sent you off, of course he has, but shout out to Oscar then as well. That's very much appreciated. We're so close hitting 8k subs. 15 away. That's every little helps, Oscar there. That's class. I'll turn off that 1 minute timer the next time. So, or can I even turn it off now? I don't think I can. No, that's anything at all. Every little helps is great. And yeah, almost identical team to Focal. I respect the Van Dijk thing though. Yeah, I do think Van Dijk can do too well this weekend. Surely we get the captaincy, or sorry, surely we get an attack on return sooner rather than later than Van Dijk. And I think this is the game Van Dijk can get something then as well. Who are your underrated FPL content creators, Bojan? Who would I say? I like FPL Consult. I chat to him a lot on Instagram. Choi then as well from Ireland then as well, another Irish fella. Underrated. Outside of that, I'm actually not sure. I like the graduates then as well. They're good on Twitter. TikTok. They're the TikTok goats in the graduates. And who else have we? Yeah, I'm gonna go with those three: Choi, Consult, graduates, and Consult, Leon FPL Consult. But yeah, that's sorry for ruining the raid, Oscar. I'm gonna have to sort that out for the next time there. But we're closer, 17 away from 8k. We're gonna hit that on our next stream. That'd be great to get. So every little helps that, Oscar. Really do appreciate that. But Bojan, they're my three. That's a team locked in there, 966k. But as I said throughout the stream, overall rank doesn't matter at the moment. It's only around Christmas time once you're inside the top 1 million by Christmas, and then going on from there. But we've 3-4 chips, only one chip using the wildcard, so we've 3 chips left to play: a free hit, bench boost, and triple captaincy. So that'll get us up the ranks with that then as well. But yeah, we're going to leave it there. 25-6 then as well. Hopefully get through this storm then as well, and let's see how we go then. But I really do appreciate Oscar sending over a few then as well. Sorry for ruining the raid then as well. I thought it was the minute thing with the subscriber. I'm going to have to change that. That's what making people not subscribe to the channel. But lesson learned there anyway. But yeah, let's see how we get on tonight. Semenyo and Senesi. Do drop a like on the stream if you're still watching, and yeah, we'll see in the next video. Try and get one done on Sunday, and then a little break during the international break. But yeah, let's see. Bruno Fernandes surely leads us with a parting gift, and yeah, we'll leave it there. Thanks for watching. Best of luck for the week. Era boo. We'll see you in the next video.